and spoke to a rally community. At that time, it didn't seem so unusual. That's what we did in those days. That's what God called us to do. But I was in Japan, of all places, in seminary, and they said to me, "What? You shook Dr. Martin Luther's hand?" And he had to strike me that this was something very special. That group was unlike any other group I've ever seen before. We Lutherans were outnumbered by the Baptists by quite a bit. Two rows of nuns back there, easily identifiable if there was a black habit in those days. Jewish people. Remember Dave Roskin, the pharmacist? He was here. And a lot of people who never went to church except for weddings and funerals, I'm sure. And all united in this one cause. There was a lot of smiling. Because you knew if the person was here, he had to be on our side. Even though we didn't know his name, where he came from. I see about 2/3 black and 1/3 white. Well, Martin Luther King it was announced that the program began at 8 o'clock. We knew he wouldn't be on time because he had two other rallies before he came here that same night. He was over north of the Eisenhower Expressway at church, and then on Douglas Boulevard at another before he came here. So we had to spend time doing something, and we had a group called the West Side Organization over here who organized some singing and talking, and it was all very good. Some very, very good in terms of witness and the singing of all the freedom songs. I remember I had a chance to talk too, and I said something like this. We're not in this building because we have the biggest building in the neighborhood. We're here because the church is the right place for this movement to be. Because the church was founded. The movement began in churches in Montgomery, Alabama, from Bama, all across the South. In the South, there were churches. So we're in the right place. And of course, it was not a movement of church only, because it soon spread out to all people who would go. Because this was also a political movement, and we need all the very welcome in our church for coming. Dr. King started to come to the North. He was sort of reading about how the North was not exempt from the problem of racism. The issue was segregated housing. It was said that Chicago was the most segregated city in the country, more than most cities in the South. And so when it was time to go north, he picked Chicago. Earlier, I had talked with people who were going down to Selma and Albany and places like that to walk for Dr. King from Chicago. And they said, "Don, come along with us." And I said something like, "Well, my work is here. When he comes to Chicago, I'll be the first one in line." I never thought he'd come. But there we were, those of us who thought that way. And we didn't know the things. But it came time for him to have a rally in the community because they're preparing for a big rally over at Soldier Field. We went and asked them whether they'd mind being in our church. We did have the most space. And they did. They said, "That's fine." And so he came to us. I remember he looked very tired when he walked down this aisle over here. And then I noticed there were about 6 people with him. And I remembered that it wasn't a good idea for Martin Luther King Jr. to walk alone in the city of Chicago. He started to talk. He was very tired. But the minute he began to talk, he became alive again. I understood what he was called the great poet. I mean, the tiredness was gone. He talked a little bit about the dream, but mostly he talked about the plan. Because we all knew about the dream. He used the Bible quotation about how Jesus said, "The blind shall see and prisoners shall be released." But mostly he talked about the plan. It has to be up to us to make sure this plan works. That's why you're all here. That's why I'm here. That's why I need you. We all need you. We work together at this, or it won't happen. And I remember it was 10 o'clock by that time. But everybody said that was too short. You could hear him all night. Anyway, it was thunderous applause when he finished. Everybody was on his and her feet, and he wouldn't stop clapping. I mean, they clapped, and he acknowledged like people do about all that. Finally, he realized they weren't going to stop clapping. So he and his people went down the sideline.